Hello again, I am Jim Bob, and welcome to the start of Season 4 of Hardcore Mode here on the PS5. Huge regulation changes are about to hit us. It's the great reset of the grid. Anyone could be anywhere. We could be at the front, we could be at the back, we could be somewhere in the middle. We have absolutely no idea. And there's a lot of drivers who are changing teams as well, potentially. It's going to be a very, very interesting start to this season. And I can't wait. Tonight we're heading to Bahrain, but first, it's pre-season. I suppose technically first, it's finishing off last season. So we just basically need to do that. So our new season target this year is to finish 5th. For the first time in our career here at Tauri, they have realised that putting unrealistic targets on us is maybe not the smartest idea. And they've actually gone back a step. You know, it was 8th in the first season, which we achieved. It was 6th in season 2, and we finished 8th. It was 4th in season 3, and we finished 5th. This time, the target is 5th. Let's hope we can at least match that, or maybe even finish 4th. Who knows? Maybe we can win this thing. Let's find out. So we'll start with our sponsor obligations. We got nearly 25 mil in the bank to start with. That's nice. That means we can throw some extra money at merchandising this year. Hospitality, this is the pit crew thing. We are going to leave that at the absolute minimum. Memorabilia room, we're going to pump that up like that. Driver appearances. Development is paused for each week. We're going to put that on both drivers, but we're going to drop that right down to the minimum, which is 10. That's worth 5.9 mil, just about. And then race weekend appearances reduces our driver's control performance rating. Let's again put that on both, and we'll drop that all the way down to just 5 each. There we go. And now merchandising. So we're going to get 2.3 mil per race without any merchandising. If we add that in, so I think we're on 3 grand last year. That will cost 10 or just over 10 million. That'll leave us with 14.5 mil. I'm going to go 4,000 this year, I think. That leaves us with 12.3 at the start. And we're going to make a base rate of 3.18 per race. Nice, okay. Race simulator events, we're not going to activate those. Certainly not going to do race day factory events or factory events. We want to keep our factory free from closures to be able to pump out parts as quickly as possible whenever we need them. So let's move on from that. Evening Marcel, evening Shubham, Victor and Bloated Hedgehog, good to see you guys. Right, so our new objective this season is to finish 5th. Now we have seen these change once the season gets underway, so, and this is not carved in stone. It's not necessarily going to be 5th, it could be slightly worse, it's probably going to be slightly harder. It might well be 4th, maybe even 3rd, who knows. Our long-term objective carries over. We've got 2 more seasons to get this done now. And then it's to score podiums in 25% of this season's races. Or next season's race. There we go. Our 2025 balance carried over. We get not much in the way of prize money. 4.2 mil. That's really poor, actually. I was expecting more than that. Sponsor money is there. Nice little bump from our sponsors. Board payments. We're going to get 7.2 in this first month. And then it'll be slightly less, I think, after that. Facilities, there are costs. Cost cap size still 134 mil. Technical regulations, big changes. So that's what our research looks like against those reg changes for our chassis. Drag reduction, definitely we worked on that a bit more. Front wing, it's going to be pretty weak. We're going to need to knock out a new front wing pretty early, I think. Rear wing is pretty decent, considering. Side pods, again, pretty strong in the side pods when you look at the drag reduction. Underfloor, not too bad, needs a fair bit of work. And then the suspension also is going to need quite a lot of work. Financial regulations for this season, there you can see there is an increased prize fund going forward this season based on what we had last year. So we finished there. Oh, of course, that prize money, that is our monthly payment of prize money, I think. So we finished in 5th, which meant we got 65 mil in total, which will get drip fed out over this season. If we were to finish 5th this year, we would actually get less. So we kind of want to try and move forward up the grid a bit if we can. Finishing 4th would be an increase of 3.3 mil over last season's payout, and so on and so forth. And obviously from 5th down it starts to go down a bit more unless we finish in 10th, where it's exactly the same. Sporting regs, no changes to points. The allocation there stays exactly the same. Testing limits stay the same, and part limits stay the same. Okay, so we need to choose an engine for this season. Now, we've been with Mercedes for 2 seasons now. Obviously we had the Honda engines in the first season. Question is, do I go to Ferrari this season? That's something that's been on my mind. So there you can see, while the Mercedes engine is not the most powerful engine, it's actually the least powerful engine, only just. It is very, very good in terms of the power loss threshold, second best in wear resistance, first in thermal resistance, it's okay in fuel efficiency, second best in gearbox and ERS durability. It is an all-round very strong engine, it just lacks that little bit of power. The Ferrari engine, more powerful, but a little bit more fragile. If we were to go with that engine, that's going to be 1 extra million on what we would normally spend. So that'll drop us down to 11.3. And you know what? I think I'm going to do it. Let's switch to Ferrari engines this season. Evening, John. So then, here we are at the start of the new season. So let's have a look at our inbox. We actually gained some acceleration on last year. I wonder if that's down to the engine change. Our pit crew performance again hasn't shown us how much they've dropped by, but it is showing what the values are now. Not amazing, definitely needs some work on those. There's our allocation for the season, which means we'll get 5.4 MAU hours and 72 wind tunnel hours each month, or each period. New regulation changes are in effect, we've just looked at those. Driver development update for the end of last season. Adaptability was improved by a point for Mick and a point for Oscar in reactions. And then Enzo gained a point in control and overtaking. And of course, Enzo no longer with us. We have replaced him with Ollie Behrman as our reserve driver for this season and beyond. Let's get our training schedule started straight away for our pit crew. Okay, let's give them a rest on New Year's Day. Let them nurse their hangovers and put them straight back to work. In fact, I might have to give them another day off here as well, because their fatigue is still pretty high. We did push them very hard at the end of last season. Hedgehog can already feel the saltiness coming through. Right, let's give them a solid month of speed training. Again, giving them a rest day just to keep that fatigue under control. Keep it below the 50% where we can. Does keep creeping up. That's a little bit too high. Let's change things up a little bit. Let's go with pit stop training for a day on the Fridays, and then a day of car building on the Saturday. There we go, that should help keep the fatigue under control a little bit more. There we go. So that's our gains over the month of January. Not bad. Go ahead and confirm those changes. Let's check our staff, make sure they're all being trained in the right areas for the start of the new season. So let's take a look at Dan. Let's have a look. So Dan's weakest areas: chassis, side pods, underfloor. Can't get all three of those. We'll go with ground effect, I think. Okay, let's have a look at Dirk. So his weakest areas, he's pretty well balanced actually. Maybe his downforce could do with a little bit of a bump. Let's put him on grip and traction. Ben, in his final season of his contract, and yeah, we'll leave him on driver comms. Josh, oh wow, Josh is maxed out on his composure already. That was quick. Okay, so we want to move on to car analysis. And Alan Permain. Let's move over to drill planning. Let's take a look at our driver lineup. So Mick is currently working on wet track to improve his control, smoothness, adaptability and accuracy. Let's take a look at his overall. His cornering is only 83. I think we need to improve his cornering. Improving his braking would be nice as well. Let's see, can we find braking, cornering and smoothness? cornering and smoothness, adaptability and reactions, cornering, braking, adaptability, accuracy. That's winning out for now. Yeah, we'll leave him on short run pace. Let's take a look at Oscar. So, Oscar, again, needs to work on his smoothness, his overtaking. Beyond that, relatively well balanced. Maybe his braking. So we've got him on race strategy. We'll leave him on race strategy for now. Try and improve that smoothness up a couple of points. Maybe boost his overtaking as well. Evening, Farah. And Ollie has joined us. So let's have a look. Wow, he's got 90 reactions. Woo! That's nice. So we don't have to worry about his reactions. Accuracy, smoothness, cornering, braking, those are the key stats I want to look at. So accuracy, control, smoothness, adaptability, that's a definite contender. Cornering, braking, adaptability, accuracy, that might be the one. Yeah, we'll leave him on short run pace for now. And now let's have a look at our car. So, how bad a job / how good a job did we do against those regulation changes? Let's find out. How you doing, Horrific? Oh wow. Oh, wow, we have the fastest car. We have terrible downforce, but we have the highest speed car and the best DRS. Acceleration isn't too bad, 9th. 19th in the low and the medium speed. That's pretty rough. High speed is pretty strong. Dirty air tolerance is nice. Brake cooling is terrible. Engine cooling is amazing. It's a bit all over the place, this car, isn't it? Let's have a look at what those values actually look like. So, against the average, we're almost an entire kilometre faster than the average. That's not insignificant at all. That's actually pretty damn impressive. Acceleration's pretty much the same. Our DRS about 7% on the average. Only down a little bit in the low and medium speed on the averages. Only up just a tiny bit in the high speed. Dirty air tolerance pretty close. Brake cooling we're down about 4%. Engine cooling we're up about 7% on the average. Let's take a look at some individual teams. So Red Bull, we have potentially got a quicker car than Red Bull here. Whoa, look at the speed difference. That is almost an entire kilometre an hour. I am liking that. Let's take a look at Ferrari. Over a kilometre an hour. Wow, their speed is not good. I don't know if Ferrari actually did much in the way of research looking at those numbers. They are down on almost everything. Alright, McLaren. Oh, McLaren definitely focused on their cornering. And Mercedes. Acceleration is abysmal. You know, in terms of ranking, it's not that far off, but acceleration is pretty hard to claw back. So they are not going to have a particularly quick car. And oh, look at that. Valtteri Bottas is back at Mercedes. Guess that means Hamilton's gone. Yeah, okay. Well, let's get started with some car part development. Let's go into the warehouse and have a look at our individual areas. So, chassis is average. Front wing is abysmal, as expected. We're going to need to really work on the front wing. Rear wing is probably the best on the grid. It's quite nice. Let's have a look. Side pods, probably the best on the grid. Well, definitely the best on the grid. Underfloor, not bad. Not bad at all. And suspension is abysmal. So we know where we're starting. Starting with the front wing. Let's work on one of those. Not going to put any hours on this one because these are relatively easy to churn out. We're going to look at the ones that take much longer to build. Things like the suspensions and the chassis. That's where we're going to be focusing the hours, I think, because we can knock one of these out. Once we've got the project done, we can knock one out in 3 days normal, or 2 days for the rush. Whereas it's 8 days or 10 days for some of those other parts. So much harder to roll off a batch of upgrades with some parts than others. We want to go intense. We desperately need to improve our low and medium speed. And we also need to improve our brake cooling. Let's try doing it this way instead. Airflow sensitivity at the front. We can dial that up a bit. Let's not lose quite so much on the rear. Let's take a little bit of life out of the front wing. Sakhir is in 50 days. We want to go with 2 engineers on that one. Okay, next up, suspension. We know this is bad, and we are going to pump hours into this one. So it's going to take us much longer to get new suspensions on the car compared to front wings, rear wings. So we want to absolutely nail this one. Again, we can sacrifice a little bit of drag reduction at the expense of to improve our downforce, especially in the low and the medium. I want to work on the brake cooling a little bit as well. Try and tweak the airflow at the front. Let's take some life out like that as well. Again, we're going to go with an intense build. These take 8 days to build. So we need F3 like that. Make sure we get it in time. Evening, Anthony. Evening, Derek. I've got 2.6 mil left. We are going to hold off on that for now. I think, potentially. Let me just check our facilities, see if there's anything that is going to need a little pick-me-up. Everything here looking okay so far. Weather Center is in need of a refurb, but that can wait. And just drop an upgrade on that maybe instead. Actually, let's have a look. An upgrade will take a month. It costs us 2 mil. Let's throw a refurb on our memorabilia room. Alright. I think we're ready to advance time a little bit. Memorabilia room refurbishment is done. Try saying that 3 times fast. Okay. Ollie Behrman already has gained a point. Good lad. Team rosters for the new season. Always a fun moment. So, Red Bull unchanged, unsurprisingly. They have Max and Charles Leclerc. Ferrari also unchanged. They have Perez and Russell. Dennis Hauger is the reserve driver for Red Bull. And Isaac Hadjar is the Ferrari reserve. Okay, moving down. McLaren keep Yuki Tsunoda. Aston keeps Stroll. Norris stays at McLaren, and Aston have replaced Fernando Alonso with Pierre Gasly. Interesting. Does that mean we've no longer got Fernando on the grid? Let's take a look at the reserves. Freddie Vesti is McLaren's reserve driver, and Iwasa has signed for Aston Martin. Interesting. Right, moving down. AlphaTauri, this is us. Obviously, we still got Mick. Magnussen is at Williams. We've got Piastri, and Zhou is still at Williams. So Albon is gone. Where's Albon gone? I wonder if he's gone to Alpine to replace Gasly. And Roman Staniek is Williams' reserve driver. Obviously, we have Behrman. Moving down. Mercedes have Valtteri Bottas. Ocon still there, and then yes, Sainz has stayed at Mercedes. Albon has gone to Alpine. Jack Doohan is the Mercedes reserve, and Alex Palou is the Alpine reserve. Going down to Haas, Zane Maloney is in car 1, and Richard Bashaw is in car 1 of Alfa Romeo. Porsche in car 2, Giovinazzi in car 2 of Alfa. Donna's on the reserve for Alfa Romeo, so she did get a seat. I thought she would, being the F2 champion. And Jack Crawford is at Haas, and that, I'm really pleased to see that, actually, because Jack Crawford, young American driver, makes sense that he would be at Haas. Yeah, whenever I do a Haas playthrough, I always sign Jack Crawford. It just makes sense. You know, he's a very talented young American, a lot of potential. But that's the grid for 2026. Interesting. Very interesting. No established drivers at Haas at all. All young drivers. Well, I suppose you could say Teo now is technically an established driver. He had his debut season last season. But yeah, Porsche and Maloney, no original, drivers with faces at Haas. They are completely, helmeted in at that team there. And same at Alfa Romeo, technically, because Giovinazzi doesn't have a head model either. Right, let's take a look at other rosters. There we go. And moving up to F2. Let's see if we can predict who the F2 champion's going to be this season. There's nobody that jumps out. Trident look like they've got a strong lineup. I don't know if he's going to win the championship, but I'm going to put money on... Victor Martins might be a contender at Carlin. I'm going to put some money on Gabriel Milli finishing in the top 3. I think he's got potential. So we'll see if that holds true. Memorabilia room refurb is done. Let's take a look at powertrains as well. See who's using what engines. So obviously Ferrari have to use Ferrari. McLaren using Ferrari. Red Bull have to use Red Bull. Mercedes have to use Red Bull. Alpine have to use Renault as well. Zhou at Williams. Red Bull engines for Williams. Renault engines for Haas. There's us with Ferrari. Giovinazzi is with Red Bull. Aston with Red Bull. Mercedes are the only Mercedes-engined team on the grid. Wow. I am so surprised by that. 2 teams with Renault engines, and then 1, 2, 3 teams with Ferrari engines, and 1, 2, 3, 4 teams with Red Bull engines. So there's definitely a favourite amongst the teams in terms of an engine this season. Alright, our CFD upgrade is complete. What was that on the calendar there? Oh yeah, it was launch day, wasn't it? So that'll give us some nice little boosts. Back up to 3 mil. That might be enough now to get a new part done on Intense. Let's look at getting a chassis done. Yep, we can afford that. Actually, we could have afforded that earlier. Never mind. Let's go 2 on that one. I didn't actually change any of the values on that. I just kind of skipped through. Never mind. No real dialing in of anything on the chassis, but could be worse. All right. We've got 1 million left. That's not really enough to do anything. I don't want to do a project without it being an Intense for the first part. So we'll just wait till the end of the month when we get a payment through from the board. Hey, our design center upgrade is done. That will certainly help as well. So that boosts us up to 3% from 2. Obviously 1.6 because we were degrading a little bit. Nice, nice, nice. Do we want to sponsor someone? Don't have any details on his stats. He's a 68. Don't think... I don't think it's going to be worth us sponsoring anyone because I don't think we're going to be signing anyone else now. I think at some point we're going to say goodbye to Mick and stick Ollie in the car. And then, we're a long way off putting another reserve driver in, so we'll just acknowledge that we won't sponsor him. Just a couple of days to go till the end of the month. There we go. Right, so how have our drivers developed over the last calendar month? Nothing for Mick. 1 point in overtaking for Oscar. Ollie has gained a point in adaptability and a point in accuracy. Okay. Let's get our pit crew training in. Now we're going to switch to a more balanced training regimen. Once again, we're getting very close to that 50% mark. Let's flip the script slightly. Yeah, there we go. We'll put 1 day of training in here, and we'll put it on the Tuesday. Okay, that works. There we go. So that is our predicted gains for the month. We'll get our pit stop time down to about 2.33. Sorry, Hedgehog. We'll improve our car building a little bit, and we'll also reduce our mistake chances down a bit more as well. So let's go ahead and confirm that training plan for February. We've got 6.5 mil now, so we can afford a big part. I see the grumbles. Right, let's work on an underfloor. Right, let's see. Really want to focus again on improving our low and medium, but not too much at the expense of high speed, so we'll just give them a little bit of a boost. Drag reduction will leave as is. Airflow sensitivity, let's give that a little tweak as well. Let's take a little bit of life out of the underfloor. That's something we forgot to do as well, is take life out of the chassis. So that's going to be a heavy chassis, but the next one we do, we can really strip some weight out and get some good gains, I hope. We're going to go with, let's see, it'd be nice to get that for Melbourne, but it's not likely to happen. I can get 1 for Melbourne. We will go intense, 4.3 mil. Let's get that started. There we go. Let's start building our suspensions. I'm not going to start another part because I need to have money to actually build what else is about to drop as well. Start building those front wings. $1.2 mil left. Hopefully I'll have enough money to get everything done. There's our chassis. It's going to take 9 days. Ooh. Okay, let's go with 2 chassis. Down to 117 grand. And underfloor is still a little way off. Pre-season testing has come and gone. Oh, we've got that nice and early. It's going to put us in debt. It's a chance for us to get a jump start on everybody. We're going to take that on. We'll be in debt a little bit for a few days. I can live with that. So that's what we look like in pre-season testing before we stick anything new on the car. Does look as though a couple of teams have stuck some upgrades on already. We're no longer where we were in acceleration. High speed is also no longer where we were. Okay. Yes, I know we're in debt. To quote Gimli, that was deliberate. Right, so Q2, 2 cars into Q2. You know what? Before we even look at our targets, let's put some bits on the car. Because I have no idea where we actually stand with the new bits. So, let's have a look. We have no new chassis available just yet. Maybe tomorrow. Let's put the new front wing on both cars. We've got 1 spare. We haven't done a rear wing yet. Side pods, we haven't done a side pods. Underfloor is still... Oh no, we have done side pods, haven't we? No, we haven't. Suspension we have. We don't have a spare, so please don't break one, boys. Underfloor still in design. Alright, where do we sit with those new parts? Okay, we lost a little bit of speed. We're no longer the quickest car. DRS still strong. Acceleration's not too bad. Middle of the pack. We have definitely improved our cornering, as you can see. We've lost some high speed, which was to be expected, given the changes we made. Big step forward in the low speed, though. Excuse me. Dirty air tolerance still slap bang in the middle. Brake cooling is improved. That's where we sit against Red Bull. So, they've found a lot of speed. Wow. They were a kilometre, way over a kilometre, about a kilometre slower than us. They've closed that gap right down. Their acceleration is mighty. That's a huge gulf in acceleration. And they've really jumped forward in terms of downforce as well. Big gains there. They're the team that we are probably going to be measuring ourselves against to start with. So yeah, I mean, we're kind of got a quick car in terms of speed. Got very good DRS. We're kind of middle of the pack everywhere else. So, let's reflect that in our objectives. I think we'll get both cars into Q2, no problem at all. That's the incentive. For the guarantees, we're going to go 2 cars in the top 14 just for the opening race. And I do think I can get at least 1 car into Q3. Hopefully both. Finish position 1 in the top 10. Again, I'm hoping for a little bit better than that, but we'll see. Fastest lap, we'll certainly try for it. Finish position streak 1 in the top 12 for 2 races. Yeah, should be able to do that. Quali streak, we're going to go 2 in the top 14 for just 2 races. Just to wet our whistles a little bit. Get our feet under the table. Okay. I think we are ready to head to Bahrain.
Here we go, folks. F1 returns, starting here in Bahrain. The beginning of a brand new Formula One season. Every team, every driver, whether rookies or champions, all start here on zero, ahead of another year's battle for glory. Bahrain might have a small land footprint, but it's showing its big spirit right now in the grandstands. Either way, it's time for another fantastic weekend of Grand Prix racing. Change is afoot in Alfa Romeo's crew, with a new driver manning their car. Let's get on with the weekend.
Okay then, here we are at the start of the season. We're going to go with soft tyres for day one, or FP1. 17 laps is what we run for our first runs at Bahrain. And where do we go setup wise? Let's go with 3.5, 11.5, 7.3, a 3.2 and a 0. And for Oscar, we're going to go with a 4, an 11, a 6.4, 3.35 and a 0.35. And let's send our cars out for the first time this season.
Copy, same.
Radio check, radio check.
Yes, radio check loud, please. A bit less curb.
Copy.
Watch those curbs.
Copy.
So, we have some stuff to talk about. No Hamilton on the grid, no Alonso on the grid, but the real big Hamilton news, signing for Ferrari in real life to start at the end of this season coming up. 2025 and onwards, he will be partnering Charles Leclerc. Ooh, what a lineup that is for Ferrari. That is mighty. That's easily the best lineup on the grid. It's a huge move to go to Ferrari. Can Ferrari provide a car that can challenge for the World Championship? We've seen them be very quick on one lap pace, especially with Charles Leclerc. We've seen them win races in the last couple of seasons, but not many. I mean, the Red Bull has been mighty. But I'm excited for that. I really am. To see Hamilton and Leclerc in a Ferrari, that is one hell of a lineup. It could get spicy. It could get very spicy with those two. Two Alpha drivers. We've seen in the past, it doesn't work well in the long run. And we know Hamilton has signed a multi-year deal, which means more than one season, but that's all we know. My guess is there's definitely going to be an escape clause in Hamilton's contract at both ends. If not an escape clause, certainly an option as to whether or not to pick that contract up again. Do I think Bono will follow? I don't know. He had absolutely no idea that was happening. His jaw kind of, dropped. When Toto told him, he had absolutely zero idea on that one. So,
Much better.
yeah, very, very interesting. Is Hamilton going to learn Italian? I think he kind of has to, really. If he doesn't already know Italian, he might already know how to speak Italian. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm sure he'll pick up some Italian. Whether he'll become fluent or not is another matter, but...
Let's get that.
And the ramifications of that move are going to really play merry hell with the driver transfers at the end of the season as well. I mean, what's going to happen with Sainz? Is Sainz going to go to McLaren? To Mercedes to replace Hamilton? Probably not. The biggest choices out there, I think, is Audi or Red Bull. One of those two. I've heard rumours that a deal has been offered for Alex Albon to rejoin at the end of the season, to go and partner up with Verstappen when his contract, Perez's contract expires. That'll be interesting to see if that actually happens. I don't think that's enough of a change, but we'll try it. Okay, let's bump that up to an 11.5. Let's go 4, 11.5, 7, 3, 3.15 and 0. Let's go 0.05 instead. That's a bit too much on the front wing, I think. Let's go 4.5, 11.5, 7, 3, 3.1 and a 0. That looks... Go with a 0.5. That looks better. Yeah, so the knock-on effect is we've now got a big seat coming up at Mercedes. We've got, a big seat potentially coming up at Red Bull. At the same time, who knows what's going to happen with Alonso? Could Alonso go to McLaren, to Mercedes? That'd be pretty huge if that happened. Or will he stay with Aston? I don't know in that respect. There's so many different connotations of how things could play out. Who could go where? What do I think of the Horner allegations? Well, from what I understand, it's a sexual harassment allegation. The allegation comes from a Dutch newspaper that is about as reliable as The Sun over here in the UK. So make of that what you will, as to whether or not there's any truth in the allegations. I mean, there could be. Who knows? I mean, there's an independent investigation that's been opened up by Red Bull. So we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out. I mean, there could be truth behind the story. There could be no truth behind the story. It could be a fabrication. We will have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. No one's really saying anything at all. So, for obvious reasons. So, I don't really want to, throw anything further out there other than, you know, it's being investigated. We'll just have to wait and see how that investigation shakes out until more details come to light. And we did get our first proper livery reveal today as well. Well, I suppose we've technically already had the Haas livery, but yeah, Williams revealed their new car today.
I just went into quick.
Now we can see what happened.
I have to say, I do quite like it.
Now this is what happened as they took turn 8.
It's a nice evolution of their
And there goes the steering.
of their current
And
livery.
they'll need to be mindful of the effect that had on the tyres.
Still, we can keep those temps in, doing a good job.
Cover.
More car reveals to come over the next week or so. Let's see, it's the 5th today, isn't it? So yeah, I think we've got another 10 days until all the cars have been revealed.
How's the balance?
Alright, 97%. That is very close. And 91% for Mick.
For now, no. It feels really good.
Copy that. Checkered flag.
As always, we can't really read too much into pre-season testing times or practice times, but McLaren looking quick again. Red Bull always are going to be quick. Magnussen's up there in the Williams. Ocon is up there in the Alpine. Big gap to the first of the Mercedes drivers. Sainz slowest, although on medium tyres. Let's get prepped for free practice 2. So more work needed on Mick. Alright, traction can't be that. It has to be... has to be dialed in a bit. Let's try going up to a 3.25 and then going to a 0.25. Let's just try that to start with. I don't think I'm finding enough there, but maybe if I do that. Yeah, let's try that. We'll put the braking stability and the cornering right at the end of that window and see what that does to our traction and our oversteer, and then we can make adjustments accordingly. So we want to run for 40 laps, or 40 laps of fuel with medium tyres. There we go. Oscar just needs a tweak, possibly the front wing, possibly the cornering. It's the front wing. Let's try a 4. See what that does. Oh, absolutely, he's got more chance than Vince. Yeah, Vince is going to jail. There's no question about that. That's... ooh, Jesus.
Green light.
Yeah, McMahon, that was pretty horrific. When I saw that complaint, I was, ooh.
Yeah, I like the cover.
It helps when you stay on the track there.
A little wobble for Oscar.
What do you think?
A step backwards. So, looks like we've got to push the wing in the opposite direction. We got it right with Mick though.
Some balance.
That setup is done.
Traction was amazing.
Excellent stuff.
Okay, copy that, copy that.
I genuinely don't know how good we're going to do tonight. I mean, once again, it looks as though, for the most part, the margins are quite small. The whole grid has been kind of smushed back down to, very, very low levels of everything. If someone can make a big jump early on in terms of performance, then they've got a real chance to break away a little bit at the start until everyone else starts to catch them up. I don't think that's going to be us. I think Red Bull are still going to be the team to beat. Oh, lock-up for Schumacher. So that's 2 lock-ups for Mick, 1 for Oscar. Don't forget our brakes are back to prehistoric levels of grip, or cooling again, as they were at the beginning of season 1. We're not the only drivers making mistakes. Just saw Magnussen with a mistake there as well. Had a bit of a spin on the final turns. And there's a lot of teams with Red Bull powertrains or Ferrari powertrains. So a lot of teams with very, very strong engines. Luckily, we are sort of lumped in there a little bit. But there's 4 teams with Red Bull engines, which are the most powerful engines. And there's 3 teams, including us, with Ferrari engines, second most powerful engine. 2 teams with the Renault engine, which is the 3rd most powerful. And then just Mercedes, the only team running the Mercedes engine. Kind of feel bad for Mercedes now. It's like, maybe I should have stuck with them, but I just felt it was time to take a gamble on the new engine. Oh, and this time Sainz is second. So, yeah, maybe we're just reading too much into that first session of practice there. Right. So, we did go the wrong way. So that's got to be a 5 then, which means we need to correct that the opposite way. I'm going to push that back to a 0. Hopefully that is it for Oscar. Again, we're going to go 40 laps of fuel. I'm going to run the hard tyres in this session. No changes needed for Mick. He is exactly where he needs to be.
Watch those curbs.
And I am expecting there to be a more distinct pace difference between Oscar and Mick as this season progresses. Mick being a couple of years older means his development rate will be slower than Oscar's, which means Oscar has a chance to really stretch away from him a little bit this year. Of course, we do still need to A, win the Constructors' Championship, B, make Oscar a Drivers' World Champion. Those objectives still exist. So, again, we will look to favour Oscar where we can, but not to the point where it goes against our chances of getting points. So if Mick is in a stronger chance of getting points and we have to favour one car over the other, we will favour Mick, but by and large we are going to be favouring Oscar in those close 50-50 decisions. So he will be the one who gets the new parts first. But if we do find ourselves in a situation where we need to switch our focus from one driver to the other because of powertrain issues, like we did at the end of last season, then we will definitely do that as well. We're not locked solidly into we will back Oscar no matter what. You know, we will give him priority where it makes sense to, and we will flip that where it makes sense to. And we do have a couple of new drivers to keep an eye on this season, for sure. And Maloney, 2 rookies this season. Be interesting to see how they do. Porsche is going to be the de facto team leader at Haas, given that he's had a season under his belt now compared to 0 under his belt for Maloney. Plus he's the higher rated driver as well, so there we go. Oscar now up to 100% as well. Excellent stuff. So we just need to run the clock now, get our car part knowledge as high as we can in this first practice session. And it'll be interesting to see how Perez does at Ferrari this season as well. Was wildly inconsistent at times last year, but finished the season strongly. Let's see, can he carry that rich vein of form over into the new season, or is he going to be off the pace again? Is he going to be in the beginnings of a decline in terms of his performances, his stats? Sainz needs to do something this season as well. He was a long way off at times last season. And a chance for Valtteri to get some good results in again. We know how quick he can be in this game. You know, he was still, getting that alpha into the points last season. Now that he's got potentially a better car, and I say potentially because at this stage we don't really know. It'll be interesting to see what he can do with that, and can he measure up against Sainz? If he can't, then that might be it for Valtteri. Both Mercedes drivers starting to age a little bit, starting to age out. And I think Norris might be out of contract this season.
This is checkered flag.
Maybe he's got one more year after this one. Maybe Max is out of contract at the end of this season. I can't see Max moving somewhere else, but yeah, it could be some interesting moves at the end of this year as well. We'll have to check contract lengths when we get back to HQ afterwards. There we go, 90% car park knowledge on the first weekend. That's not too bad. Driver prep means we'll have 97% confidence going in. Anthony says he's thinking about signing Albon to replace Piastri. Good choice, good choice.
Will practice pay off for the drivers? Well, we're about to find out in qualifying.
Bahrain's track is dusty and abrasive, and even under the floodlights, qualifying is tough on soft tyres. Teams will need to use their tyre allocations wisely.
Charles Leclerc's been a talking point for many of late. Karun, how do you think he's doing so far?
They set a great lap in practice, so you can only imagine how good they're feeling going into qualifying. But the big question is, will they be able to keep this performance up?
Fortunately for us, it's nearly time for them to hit the track.
All right then, let's get prepped for quali. Tyres are set, keeping the fuel, no need to change any of the parts. Let's go straight in.
Let's concentrate on that warm-up.
Copy. Start to work on your fronts and your brakes.
Copy.
And new boy, Richard Bashaw. Makes his way onto track. Interesting helmet design for Alfa Romeo there. Charles Leclerc and George Russell coming out, nose to tail. How close are you to the end of season one now, Anthony?
with this clean air. So let's go recharge off and push next lap.
So gap ahead is good.
All right, we've got Albon coming out in that Alpine. Shouldn't be an issue for Mick, might be an issue for Oscar. There he is, pulling over into turn 1. Gets out of the way easily for us there. And can we get through on just one run? That would be nice. Annoyingly, our engine sounds exactly the same, despite the fact that we switched powertrains to Ferrari. Oscar definitely has the advantage at the moment, but how big an advantage? I'm going to say about 2/10. Somewhere between 2 and 3/10 is my guess. Schumacher sets the time with a 1:31.496.
Again this lap.
And there we go, just under 3/10. 1:31.2.
Cool the car.
Copy.
We've got Gasly getting ready to start his flying lap as Stroll is just exiting the pits into turn 1. Shaw is nearly 9/10 off Oscar. Bottas is out on track just in front of Oscar's car. What kind of benchmark can Gasly throw down for his new teammate? A little bit of traffic there on the approach to turn 10. That's not ideal. Sorry, turn 9. And Valtteri started his flying lap now.
Pit limiter on. Okay, mate, let's.
Oh, is Stroll going to get going in time? Yes, he is. He's not going to get in the way of Gasly. Oh, Leclerc is 6/10 quicker than us. But we're quicker than Russell. Don't forget, Leclerc was right on the gearbox of Russell, so we don't know how genuine that pace from Leclerc is. Let's wait and see what Max does. He is on a flyer right now. He's coming up behind his teammate. So this is a clean air lap for Max. Oh yeah, that is some definite pace. Some definite pace from Red Bull. We're lacking a little bit in downforce at the moment compared to some of the cars out there. Although we do have very good top speed. This probably isn't the best circuit for how our car is currently set up. That speed advantage should hopefully be, especially with our DRS, should be very strong, I hope, at Jeddah. But again, it depends how much we're losing in the downforce. Valtteri. Has he got his old helmet back? No, he doesn't. I was just curious if he'd have his old Mercedes helmet back. He doesn't. But he is back in the blue car. Someone's had a whoopsie. Ocon with a lockup at the end of the lap.
Let's have a look at the action. It's all at the final corner. Struggling with the car. They took a gamble and it was
well,
just
if that was his
too
flying
late.
lap, that's his flying lap ruined. If it was his out lap, that's his that's the start of his flying lap ruined. He might have just aborted and gone straight to the pits. I think he has. Yeah, I think that was his flying lap, and he just aborted straight to the pits. So, not great. We're definitely going to need to run again. I don't think we can avoid that. Good time for Zhou. Norris looking ominously quick, but is he getting a slipstream there? Perez still to set a time. And goes 5th. Here comes Seitz. There's Magnussen. There's Magnussen.
Again, let's concentrate on those tyres and brakes.
Number 44 has been replaced with number 55 in the yellow car.
Copy.
So Seitz has moved seats. Seitz was racing in the blue tinted car last season, because obviously Lewis was in the yellow tinted. Seitz has moved into the number 2 seat, Valtteri in the number 1 seat. And it's just Pourchaire and Magnussen now to set a time. Pourchaire starting his flying lap, Magnussen finishing his. And I think he got held up a bit because he's a long way. He's a second off Zhou. Oh, Yuki as well, also yet to set a time. So Yuki and Pourchaire setting their first flying laps. Ocon kind of setting his first flying lap because he aborted his first flyer at the end of the lap there with that lockup. Mick starts his wind-up for his second flying attempt. Oscar now doing the same. Hopefully we'll get some clean air.
Good on traffic.
Valtteri's coming out in
Good to
front
go.
of Mick. Gets out of the way nicely. Should hopefully do the same for Oscar here. And he does. So Pourchaire, how quick can Pourchaire go? 13th, second off the pace. What about Yuki? Norris is looking very quick, so Yuki should be similarly quick, maybe a fraction slower. That's a bigger gap than I was expecting. Half a second to his teammate there. Mick coming up to the line. And goes fourth.
So we are P4.
Oscar
Nice
only finds a tiny
Okay,
little
so
bit.
normally in lap
But
six.
big lap for
Yeah,
Mick.
please.
So Mick is probably
So
safe.
P10.
Oscar? I
So
don't
cool as much
know.
as you can.
Yeah.
Ooh, probably not. Might have to send Oscar out again. So that's Norris starting a flying lap, I think. Russell's on an out lap, on a flyer right now. See how much he can improve by. Once again, Red Bull are looking like the team to beat, but Norris is right up there. And we're not too far away at the moment with Mick anyway. Russell climbs to 9th. Yeah, we're going to have to send Oscar out again. Send him out on the same tyres and hope that there's enough life left in them.
Good entry.
Pit limiter on.
Let's stop on the marks, wait for 2 seconds and go to P1, please.
Oscar pit lane.
Don't think there was any improvement from Valtteri on that last lap. No, he was 4/10 slower. How much did Oscar improve by? A couple of hundredths in the first. A couple of thousandths in the middle. And a couple of thousandths in the... a couple of hundredths in the final sector. Yeah, very small improvements. Mick found nearly 2/10 in the first. 2.5 tenths in the middle, and 2.5 tenths in the final sector. So a very good lap for Mick. Improved by 6.5 tenths, nearly 7 tenths. Oh, we're stuck in a queue of slow cars now.
Just start to work on your front tyres and brake tips.
I think I might have to... well, I don't know. What's the gap? This might work out. We are quicker than both of the Astons in front and both of the Haas as well. Not Aston, sorry, Alphas. Question is, are we going to get held up too much? Are we going to close up too much? Well, we'll just have to see. Hopefully we can get a really nice slipstream. Ferrari fans, what do we love about the team when you ignore poor strategy? I think everyone has you know, secretly an inner Ferrari fan. It's just, you know, the history of the mark, you know.
Yeah, bunching. So you can push now.
I think everyone at some point in their childhood probably had a Ferrari poster on the wall, at least back when we were old enough to have. When posters on the wall was definitely a thing. It's less so for kids these days, but certainly everyone of my age had Ferrari posters on the wall. You know, and Lamborghini as well, but, you know, I mean, I grew up with, you know, the Ferrari Testarossa and the Ferrari F40, two fantastic cars, and yeah, I think everyone has that little inner Ferrari fan in them, whether they want to admit it or not. No improvement in the first. Oscar is starting to get a little low. 13th in the standings. No improvement for Valtteri. Valtteri is at risk. We have improved in the middle. Is that going to be enough? Can we improve here at the end as well? No improvements, but we're safe. And the Mercedes just squeaking through there. And a promising start for Mick, up in 4th. Did not expect that. And there we see Yuki jumping up to 4th. And that's closer to his teammate. That's more what I was expecting to see. Albon up there in 7th. Russell improves as well now. Gasly, Ocon, all pretty closely matched. Zhou's not too far away. Stroll's there as well. A couple of tenths between the Ferrari drivers. Perez coming up to finish his flying run. Has finished his flying run. So, yeah, it's an interesting first qualifying session. Let's see how things change as we move into second qualifying.
Start preparing for the lap.
Yeah.
Let's get those brake tanks warmed up.
Copy.
So yeah, last season we definitely can, announced ourselves as a strong midfield team. Can we consolidate that this season? Can we consolidate that position as an upper midfield team? Say 4th place was the target last year. We just missed it, finished 5th. 5th place is the target this year. Can we flip the script and finish 4th this season? I think the fight in the title is probably going to be between based on very, very early evidence, it's going to be between McLaren and Red Bull. I think Red Bull are definitely the favourites again. McLaren aren't too far away. Ferrari have potential with George, but I think Perez will let them down in the constructors.
So track is clear.
Albon could be
You're good to push.
an interesting signing in the Alpine.
Just take advantage of some clear air in front.
Him and Ocon could work well together this season.
Start.
Gasly is probably a very good signing for Aston, replacing a driver in Alonso who was starting to make quite a lot of mistakes last season, as his control rating dropped due to his age quite significantly, down to the low 60s in the end. And it's looking like it's going to be another rough season for Mercedes, at least on the evidence of Q1, just squeaking through in 15th and 16th. Perez gets out of our way. A little bit of a hold up there. I don't know if Perez got through. If Piastri got through against Bottas without any hold-ups. Mick will.
Run switch delta, stay negative.
131.2.
Make sure we're cooling the car. Perfect.
And again, 0.2. It's about what we saw
Normal in-lap procedures, please.
in the first session. It's very, very similar times. Not bad on the older tyres. We'll send them out on the same tyres again as soon as they get back. Get that confidence up a bit more. Yuki on fresher rubber than us. Everyone's going to be on fresher rubber than us. They'll have used 2 new sets of tyres, I think, in that first session. And once again, Charles Leclerc popping in a very quick time. 1.2 seconds quicker than Schumacher. Although again, difference in tyres. You think Hamilton pushed the announcement early in order to give those who want to join him from Mercedes the chance to pre-plan with gardening leaves? Interesting. Interesting theory. I haven't heard a rumour about Newey. I'm guessing Newey wants to work with Hamilton at Ferrari. Is that the rumour? I've not heard that one. I think, more than anything, he's announced very early because he wants to give Mercedes a chance to plan their future without him, rather than dropping that bombshell with half a season to go. Might be wrong in that, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if that is part of the reasoning he gives. Because Mercedes have got a real choice now as to who they sign. I mean, there's a lot of talk about Antonelli stepping up if he has a good season this year, but that's quite a big step up. I mean, Schumacher is not out of the picture. He could take on that Valtteri Bottas role alongside George, who will now become the de facto team leader. Albon is definitely a consideration. He has a very good friendship with George. Yeah, I think it's probably a bit too early for Antonelli, but I mean, he is being talked about in prodigy levels of excitement. And let's not forget, Max was 17 when he made his Formula 1 debut. And he skipped straight from Formula 3 straight to F1. I don't know if that is still possible. I know drivers have to be a minimum of 18 now. And I don't know if they can skip straight from F3 to F1 or not. Like Max did. But yeah, be interesting to see what Mercedes do going forward, who they decide to put their money with, put their money behind.
Clear ahead.
I think Schumacher has a chance, as I say, of fulfilling that kind of Valtteri Bottas type role, you know, as
All right, mate, let's go.
not so much the subservient driver, but you know, the steady second driver to the more aggressive first driver. You know, George, we know, can be a bit feisty. Alright, so we're looking for a little bit of improvement, if possible. But more than anything, we just want to get some extra confidence in our car drivers before they start their run on brand new tyres. George is not fit to be a number one driver. What makes you say that? Because George is supremely talented. I mean, another name that keeps getting thrown out there is Ocon. Don't forget, Mercedes did manage Ocon's contract. And when they didn't have a seat for him at Mercedes, they did find him a seat elsewhere on the grid at Racing Point before he moved to Alpine. But he does have a history of hitting his teammates, so yeah, don't know about that. We do get an improvement from Oscar.
You're P12. Cool the car on the way in.
Got a slight improvement from Mick, but again, it's about getting their confidence up.
P15.
Oscar in peak confidence, Mick
Let's finish this lap and then we'll
just
box,
into
please.
peak.
Finish this lap and then box.
And that will set them up nicely for a run on brand new tyres. Nobody on the flyer right now. Yeah, let's not forget, George hasn't been on, hasn't been in a top car for very long, and technically hasn't really been in a top car either. I mean, when you think about it, but he's going to mature. I mean, remember how aggressive Max was just a couple of seasons ago. You know, and he was very aggressive, and he was always crashing into people in his first few seasons. You know, he was accused of being reckless. And look at how he's developed and mellowed in the last couple of seasons in particular. You know, George will reach that point as well.
That's good bit late.
People forget just how dominant he was in the lower formula, because he went to Williams and toiled there for 3 years, and he made that car competitive when it had no right to be. He is definitely a talent. There is no denying that. He's 1 year younger than Max, but he's been on the grid a lot less than Max. This is what I'm saying. I mean, like I said,
Okay, so let's concentrate on some tyre.
Max jumped straight from Formula 3 to Formula 1 at the age of 17. They changed the rules for people getting into Formula 1 because of Max. George has had, what, 5 seasons in Formula 1 now? 3 at Williams, 2 at Mercedes. Max has had more than that at Red Bull alone, not counting AlphaTauri. Or, you know, Toro Rosso, I think they were still called back then. Ooh, someone's made a mistake. Who was it? It was Norris.
Right, let's follow the action now at turn 7. Just a bit too
Okay,
wide
that's
at
an
that
outlap,
point.
I think, so...
Well, hopefully not a sign of things to come.
That shouldn't hurt him. Yeah, outlap for Norris.
We're going to expect some bunching. So go one, go one.
All right, we need a mighty lap to get us through here because we are a long way off the pace. Brand new tyres will help. Mick has just dipped out of peak confidence but has got plenty of clear air in front of him. Oscar in peak confidence and has the potential for a slipstream off the back of the Red Bull, although I think that's probably going to scamper off into the distance. We're going to see improvements. It's just how big are those improvements going to be? Oh, we've got a Ferrari in the way. Ah, damn it. That might knock Oscar out. I hope it doesn't. Ocon has finished. He will not be improving. He's out. Sainz might join Red Bull. He might, but he does not get on well with Max. So they had a very fractious relationship when they both drove for Toro Rosso. Oscar up to 7th. That's pushed Bottas out. Bottas is out. Schumacher up to 8th. That's pushed out Albon. Perez now at risk. He is in the garage. Albon's on an in-lap, so he's out. What about Norris? Norris needs something special. Can he knock out Perez? We're safe. We can't be eliminated. Russell stays in P9. Norris jumps up to P3. Perez is out.
Well done.
One of the Ferraris, both of the Mercedes, both of the Alpines out in Q2.
job.
Joe is up there. Stroll is up there. Gasly, Tsunoda. We're not too far away. It's a big gap from Leclerc to Joe and Stroll, but Norris has kind of halved that gap. And then look how close that is. Our two drivers setting identical times. And look how close we are to fourth. Less than 400ths of a second separating fourth to ninth. And just a tenth separating fourth to 10th. So we've got one very clear dominant team right now. That is Red Bull. We've got McLaren, who are a little bit behind them, and then it's a free-for-all everywhere else, it seems. Very close indeed. We are going to go with 1 lap on these tyres, then 2 laps on the tyres we just used.
Green light.
And let's see, we are literally just hundredths, or we were just hundredths away from being at the bottom of the table to very near the top in that session. Will it look like that at the end of this session?
On the tyre warm-up as best we can.
Copy.
Oh, before I forget as well, we have a little bit more information with regards to the Andretti application being refused. Apparently, they did send an invite for a meeting that went straight to a spam email folder. So they had no knowledge of that, which is one of the things that counted against them for, denying the request for a meeting. And they turned around and said, we had no idea. Of course we want a meeting. And then they checked their spam, and there it was.
We're good to push next lap.
I don't think that's going to make too much difference, but I do think... I don't think it's a bit of a shame. Even if they... I mean, apparently Andretti were looking more for a 2026 entry rather than a 2025 entry, just simply because of the work involved, which makes more sense. I would still dearly love to see an 11th team on the grid. I really hope they get the opportunity for 2026, but something tells me that it won't happen. All right, get out of the way, Stroll. Thank you. Pretty much the whole grid now out, I think. Yeah, the whole grid is out. Schumacher has the edge, but he's got much better tyres than Oscar. These first laps are just about establishing a baseline of confidence. There's peak confidence there. Wow, Schumacher not actually able to press
Right,
the
so
advantage.
it'll be, normal in-lap procedures for now.
Let's see, what can Max do? On scrub tyres, he does a 130.1. Oof, that's quick. That's very quick. Is Leclerc starting or finishing his flying lap? I think he's starting. Yeah, he's starting. Russell goes P3. A couple of tenths slower than Gasly. And Schumacher moved over to let Stroll through. What's Stroll got in him? Goes up to third, half a second off. Right up there with Gasly. Go. So everyone set times. Max just fractionally slower. Charles Leclerc 4,000ths quicker to go top.
So let's just focus on the
Norris and Tsunoda in second. That's pretty much what I expected to see in terms of Norris. Tsunoda I knew would be somewhere in the pack just behind, a couple of tenths back. Surprised to see Russell down in 8th right now. But then the Ferraris didn't look amazingly quick in Q2. Gasly leaving for another run. And now Max is heading back out again. Dose of reality, yeah.
The bunching. So you're clear to start your lap.
Real risk of someone getting in the way of Mick here. Gets out in front of the McLaren. Ferrari gets out of the way. Oh no, there wasn't. And the McLaren was boxing. Oscar improves in the first. Again, no surprises there. We're going to see improvements up and down the board for both of our drivers here. Okay, up to the line. Let's see, what can we pump out in terms of a lap time? Good enough for 5th. Just 13 thousandths behind Tsunoda. Mick, slow. Worryingly slow. 130.9. Found 8 tenths, but Oscar found a full second. Hopefully he'll go quicker on this next lap. He is now into peak confidence. Oscar is maxed on confidence right now. So we need something good from Mick here. Could be accused of being a little pessimistic with setting our qualifying target as 2 in the top 14, but I mean, we've seen how close things are. Very little gap between making the top 10 and not making the top 10. Russell has a wobble.
Let's take a look at the replay.
Even
Here we
Barrett
are down at turn 7. Oh no! Wide they go!
Was that
and
an
they'll
outlap?
find themselves at a disadvantage if they keep on doing that.
Or was that a flyer? It's a flyer. Oh, so Russell's not going to improve. Disaster for George Russell there.
Gap ahead is good. Go one last moment and push when you're ready.
There goes George.
And track clear, track clear.
Where is the car in performance? Very quick in terms of top speed. Very strong DRS. Very average in terms of downforce. So a bit of a mixed bag. Red Bull clearly the quickest car again. Norris pretty close. As we start our final flying runs. Don't know if Oscar's going to improve. Mick should hopefully improve. Just dipped out of peak confidence again. Oscar is up in the first. Mick is not. That's a little concerning. Come on, Mick. Can find a little bit more.
That's checkered flag.
Oscar coming up to the middle split. He's up again. Verstappen boxing. Mick is up. Gets him into peak confidence. Leclerc is pushing for the line. Oscar improves up to 4th above Yuki Tsunoda. Leclerc retakes pole position by a 10th from Max. Come on, Mick. No improvement from Mick. Ah, dear. And Yuki retakes 4th spot. So, that's kind of what I expected to see based on Q2. Red Bull 1 and 2, McLaren 3 and 4, and then a bit of a mad scramble for all the other positions, but we do have 5th place with Oscar Piastri, then Gasly, Stroll, the 2 Astons in 6th and 7th, Zhou in 8th, Russell in 9th, and Mick disappointingly down in 10th.
The time has come to fight it out. It's race day.
Bahrain has seen some of the most dramatic races in F1, like Sergio Perez's incredible 2020 victory, surging ahead from being last on the opening lap.
Now this should be an interesting race for Lance Stroll, wouldn't you say, Karun?
It's all about positive mindset here. They need to stay focused, remember why they're in that car, and get out there and perform.
But which team has perfected the strategy that will see them prevail here at the Bahrain Grand Prix?
Not the best advice there. Remember why you're in that car, because Daddy owns a team. All right then. We are going for the 2-stop. We are going to go soft, medium, soft. There we go. We probably won't push the mediums quite that hard. But planning for that, we're going to go with 3 laps of fuel added in. And let's see what we can do. We'll burn that extra fuel off very quickly. Not the most fuel efficient car, the Ferrari engine. And let's see, can we get a podium in our opening Grand Prix? That's going to be a tough ask given the pace of Norris. But if we can finish there or thereabouts, I'll be very happy with that. Right, off to the grid for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Here in Sakhir, the floodlights are on, and it's nearly time for 57 laps around the Bahrain International Circuit. There's a chance for Esteban Ocon to show what he can do here.
15th isn't really where they should be starting from today. They need to move forward quickly to salvage a good result.
But just what will happen here, your guess is as good as mine. And this is it, the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Right.
Let's keep the pressure on, mate.
Can we go around the outside here? Nope, had to back out. Hard tyres for Gasly. He's going to try the 1-stop. Schumacher battling with Perez right now. Russell's got in front of Zhou. Zhou's had a bad start. Not a great start for Mick either.
See if we can focus on recharge, please.
Okay.
Actually, given that the cars behind Mick are also on softs, let's not
Overtaking is available.
turn off the battery just yet. Interesting to see the split in strategy between the cars for both Red Bull and McLaren there. One on softs, one on mediums. Stroll looking very, very feisty. Now we're going to ease off on the battery.
Okay, recharge on.
Copy. We can just focus on charging the pack.
Copy.
Already that gap has opened up between Stroll and Gasly. Gasly on those hard tyres, but he is very good at looking after his tyres. We saw that last year in particular. He is going for that one-stop strategy. I wonder who else is going to try the one-stop. Anyone who starts on the mediums is a potential one-stopper here. Yuki is now threatening to drop off.
Energy if you need it. Copy.
Leclerc has bolted.
Okay, DRS enabled. P11 at the moment.
I think Yuki might have just got the DRS off the back of Max there. He did.
We need to focus on the energy now.
Copy.
Back off now.
Copy.
Okay, mate, let's try and protect the tyre.
Copy.
Wow, look at Yuki's tyres. Can he start on scrubs? Because they are very, very worn already. He must have done.
Use everything.
Copy.
Yuki's just turned the pace back up again. Caught us napping there.
Watch those curbs.
Just trying to step Mick out there, see if he could squeeze through under braking.
Okay, recharge on.
Copy.
Gasly now down to 9th place. Starting to get in the way of people.
Bring the pack up.
Copy, box.
Look after these tyres.
See if we can get away with just cooling the tyres down a bit more now.
No energy, bottom of the pack.
Yep.
So our first glance, based purely on qualifying, we seem to have built a reasonably competitive car this season, but
We need some pace.
Copy.
We know that we are usually better in qualifying than at race pace, for the most part. Sustained pace has always been more of an issue for us. How are we going to fare over a full race distance? Oscar's still sat quite nicely in P5 right now, just about hanging on. Things tightening up behind Max in second, who's got past Norris. I really would have preferred to keep Oscar's tyres a bit cooler, but just wanted to make sure he didn't get dropped. Let's try lowering them down again now.
Copy.
That little lack of battery at the end of the last lap did hurt him on this straight here. No such issues this time round. Mick is also teetering on the edge of getting dropped. Albon is having a look. And there's Bottas and Sainz. They've both climbed a place. They started, what, 14th and 15th. Is it Ocon is the car that slipped? I think it is. Ocon's down to 16th on those medium tyres. And Perez is finally past Gasly, so we need to get past Gasly quickly here. He is definitely the cork in the bottle. If we can get past him and then get him to hold up Albon for us, that would be glorious. Someone has made a mistake. It's a Mercedes. It is Bottas.
So let's watch going through there.
Oh, it's a crash. Oh, is it both? Oh, the two. You never hit your teammate. Sainz hitting Bottas with a pit manoeuvre there. Wrong sort of pit manoeuvre. Need to get up the inside here. Ah, couldn't make it.
Recharge on.
Copy.
Another yellow flag. That is Vashaw? No, Giovinazzi.
Now I think this, yes, it's
another
Carlos
crash.
Sainz.
Sainz got a penalty. Oh, he's involved in another crash. Sainz is just throwing elbows left, right and centre here.
And you can just feel the frustration from the team.
So that's one penalty.
To recharge on, please.
That's probably for the collision with Valtteri. Is there going to be another penalty for the collision with Vashaw?
Okay, mate, let's do our best to catch up to Gasly.
Not getting through.
Okay, recharge on.
Copy.
I guess he's now out of DRS, just about, so we'll have to bide our time.
Alright, mate, recharge on.
Yeah.
Okay, recharge on, recharge on.
Copy.
Just don't have any battery to try and break away and catch back up. I've got to try and sit behind and charge for a bit. Which means the gap is going to get a little bit bigger as well. And plus there's a risk now that Albon will try and jump us. Ferraris are recovering a little bit. Russell and Perez starting to eke forward a touch.
Okay, recharge on.
Copy.
Take a gamble here with Oscar.
Need to focus on getting the pack up. Copy.
Hope that we can stay ahead of Stroll.
Overtake is available.
Copy. Comfortable to push.
Copy.
Focus on bringing the pack back up.
Copy.
Oh, come on, Nick.
Okay, recharge on.
Just try and get him in the middle sector. There we go, finally got through.
Okay, recharge on.
We are 3 seconds off the back.
About looking off this time where we need
Although our confidence recovered nicely before the overtake, so that's put us in pretty strong confidence mode now. Question is, can we hold him back? Let's try and make the move on Yuki here, who's got a little bit of a gap in front of him.
DRS disabled, DRS disabled.
Copy.
Couldn't quite get him there. Oh, and there's a lunge from Stroll. Sneaky. Fight that off. He's still there up the inside.
Wow.
Mick has been overtaken again.
Keep it up.
I was worried about.
Okay, we'd like you to slow down, please.
Okay.
Can we get at the inside of Yuki here?
We need to focus on the energy now. Copy.
Lovely stuff.
Good job.
Still haven't got the move done
No
yet.
more energy.
Yeah.
Now we have. There we go. Out of battery, so we might lose the position almost immediately, but we'll keep pushing those tyres.
Okay, push. Let's go.
Copy.
Right, did we just sneak back in as Norris gets back in front of Max? Just calm these tyres down again now.
So slow.
Up into fourth place. Nicely positioned here.
Okay, so let's look after these tyres.
Copy.
just drifting off the back.
Yeah, copy. Recharge on.
Size has dropped all the way down to 18th and off the back. Has he got damage to his wing? Yes, he's missing his left end plate. So that will be a wing change as well as a penalty at that pit stop. Bottas's tyres are okay, his wing looks okay, so maybe he's got damage to his chassis or his suspension from that collision.
We need to do what we can to recharge the battery. Keep looking after these tyres.
Yeah, we've pushed these tyres so hard they just can't keep up with the mediums anymore, unfortunately. So we'll cool them down a bit, we'll start building the battery back up and then just see what happens.
Let's go recharge on.
So Stroll and Tsunoda both nabbed us. And here comes the Ferrari.
We can just focus on charging the pack.
Yeah.
With a lunge. And he's got us. Not ideal. Getting into the pit window though.
Bring the pack up.
Yep.
Keep your pace up.
And recharge on.
Push the tyres.
Yep, copy.
I am hoping an undercut and then a couple of, blisteringly fast push laps on the mediums will set us up very nicely. Looks like Gasly's suddenly started to pick up his pace a bit.
Recharge on.
Albon's got us. We kind of expected that to happen,
Let's go recharge
given that
on.
we'd left that gap. The important thing is not to lose too many more positions with either driver now. Yeah, Gasly's definitely sprinting.
Okay, recharge on. close as we can. Let's get him. So head down.
Just made a little tweak to our strategies there. Bring these guys in early.
Box, box.
Copy. Box. Okay, it's recharge on. Recharge on.
Copy.
Yeah, we're just these tyres are done. Without burning the battery, there's no way we can keep up. And I don't want to do that because I want to save that for when we put on the fresh tyres, so we can really sprint hard for a couple of laps. Even Mick is struggling as well. I think we're going to bring Mick in this lap as well, otherwise he's going to lose another place. There's enough of a gap between our two drivers
Box, box.
that they shouldn't trip over each other.
Copy, box.
Let's go recharge on.
Copy. Box.
All right,
Copy that.
ready with the Salt Hedgehog. Let's see what we can do for our opening stops of the season. .5. It's a little slower than I was hoping for. 2.6. Ooh, yeah, not great.
So you should have a clear track on pit exit.
We have got clean air.
Back off now.
Yep.
Let's get these tyres warmed up and then sprint on the next lap. We are close to the back of Valtteri, who has dropped a long way off the back of Zane Maloney. So yeah, Bottas has definitely got some damage. Some kind of structural damage to his car. Could be underfloor. Could be, as I say, suspension or chassis. Something we can't see.
Just keep cruising up to him. Use energy.
Okay. Alright, let's push.
Let's see how quickly we get past Valtteri here. Tried to dive up the inside, couldn't quite make it. But we'll breeze past him here. George Russell into the pits, and so's Perez. Ooh, Ferrari going for a double stack. It's not a great stop for George. Better stop for Perez, but he got held up. Piastri has jumped both the Ferraris. And Mick's come right back onto the back of Perez and Gasly. Wait, Gasly stopped. Wow, Gasly's not two-stopping. Not one-stopping, he's two-stopping. Very odd then to have started on the hard tyres like that.
No energy, bottom of the pack.
Copy.
Focus on bringing the pack back up.
Copy.
Back off now.
Yep. Okay, mate, let's keep looking after these tyres.
Copy.
Okay, recharge on, recharge on.
Copy.
Joe's in the pits. Not a bad stop. And Joe's out right in front of these two.
Come on.
Copy.
And we've got Valtteri getting caught very quickly by this pack here. Joe's got through, Perez has not. A few more into the pits now. Stroll, Ocon and Magnussen all boxing. Decent stop there. Let's see what Magnussen can do. Not bad. Oscar in 8th place with a Ferrari all over the back of him. And the Ferrari gets through. And try and get a bit of battery out of that.
Need to focus on getting the pack up.
Copy. Recharge on.
Copy.
Oh, very poor acceleration out of that corner there.
Recharge on, please. Copy.
Right, front runners are in. Don't know how good Leclerc's stop was. We couldn't catch him in time. Have a look at Yuki. Albon coming in as well. A decent stop.
Just focus on charging the pack.
And we are finally through, but we've lost a lot of time trying to get past Valtteri like that.
Overtaking is available.
Copy.
Just want to make sure I don't lose touch with George here.
Use energy.
Copy.
We've got Stroll pushing on me as well. Don't think we've got the DRS. Oh no, we did. We did just get it. That's good because we needed it.
We need to focus on the energy now.
Copy. Okay, let's go recharge on.
Copy.
So Mick is kind of languishing a little bit here. Hasn't really had any solid pace in the race. He was disappointingly slow in Q3.
DRS disabled.
Oscar's doing all right. In 5th place at the moment, tucked in behind George Russell. We're ahead of Stroll. And I wonder, is Norris going for the one stop? Is Max going for the one stop? Pit stop karma. Well, no, not really. We've still got another stop to go. They're still quicker than you can do, so you can manage Hedgehog. Oscar looking a little precarious at the moment. I would love to turn his tyres down a touch, but with Stroll all over us, we just can't. Yeah, Mick is a second slower than Oscar right now, although Oscar is, as I say, slipstreaming and getting DRS. Oscar very much in that queue, Mick very much on his own. Ocon's catching him. Might need to just let Ocon through and tuck in behind him. Ocon's on softs.
Look after these tyres.
Copy. So we've got energy.
Yeah, copy. keep going.
Bring the pack up.
Alright, there we go. Let's see if we can stay with Ocon, or is he going to sprint his way away from us?
Alright, buddy, push.
Coming.
Fastest lap of the race for Ocon. Immediately beaten by Alex Albon. And already we've dropped off the back. I'm going to have to push harder.
Get your head down. You
Can't
can do this.
afford to start dropping more places.
Use energy.
Yeah.
We need to find a bit more downforce with our next set of upgrades. We need to strip some more weight off the chassis as well, because we kind of just pumped that one through without making any adjustments to it at all. So the chassis that we've got coming won't be spectacular, but the one after it should be. Just struggling a little bit for pace at the moment, trying to stay with the cars in front of us. I think we're just going to have to accept the fact we're about to get overtaken.
Take it back off a bit.
Soft tyres on that Williams, no real defence. Ocon is gone, can't stay with him.
Okay, mate, let's try and protect the tyre.
I'd be happy with a double points finish, although I don't know if Mick's got the ability to get into the points tonight. So trying to make sure that we can try and get as many points as possible with Oscar. We're a little behind everyone else in terms of tyre wear because we boxed early. So I'm just trying to look after the tyres a little bit for a few laps, calm that wear rate down, but it does leave us vulnerable by doing that. And already we've dropped out of the 1 second window. I don't really have anything left to push with. I'm worried that we're going to start just dropping down the order. Albon's all over the back of Mick. It's about to lose another place. There goes the Ferrari through on us. Again, no real defence against that. Soft tyres against our mediums. See if we can at least stay with Perez. This is where our lack of downforce is starting to hurt us a little bit. You know, in clean air, and on the straight, we're quick, but we're just lacking a little bit of downforce. So through these corners, these make us a little vulnerable. So next race could go either way. Jeddah is a circuit where a high top speed is crucial. A strong DRS is crucial, but also strong downforce is also important as well. We've got half of it nailed, the other half not so much. So, I mean, we could have a really strong race tomorrow at Jeddah. We could have a pretty poor race. It's, you know, your guess is as good as mine at this point. And already we've dropped off the back of the Ferrari. Yuki's going to grab us now. which is going to be more lost confidence for Oscar. I just don't have anything to really fight with right now. Can't keep pushing the tyres, or else, you know, we're not going to be able to put softs on in the final stint, and then we're going to be super vulnerable again. Just got to ride this out as long as we can. We hold back Albon, but Magnussen is trying to make a lunge. At least we do have some battery with Mick. Not as much as I would like. I just didn't get enough time on those mediums at the start to really make the gains that I was hoping we would before everyone else started boxing. And came out further behind other cars than I thought we would as well. So no quick overtakes to get confidence all the way up into peak, which would definitely have helped.
Focus on bringing the pack back up.
Copy.
Oscar now down into medium confidence. That is not good. Albon's got us. Magnussen's probably going to jump us as well. This is turning into a bit of a shocker for Mick. It's not looking amazing for Oscar either at the moment, has to be said.
Need to focus on getting the
Got to
pack
push
up.
the tyres just a little bit more. Just cannot afford to lose the back of Yuki.
Push more.
Copy.
I have to use that battery again as well.
Energy is available.
Copy.
There we go. Back onto Tsunoda. I think we just have to leave our tyres like this now. I think we're too vulnerable without that.
Let's push, come on.
As Magnussen's just jumped us. Oh, jeez.
Recharge
let's try and save a bit of battery.
Let's go recharge on.
Again, we're just slipping. As Yuki's trying to push onto the back of Perez.
Copy.
There goes the last of my battery. Ooh, yellow flag. Who locked up? Magnussen locked up.
Here's the replay. Here we are then, reaching turn 13. Well, you can see the lockup. They were just unable to do much about it.
No energy.
Copy.
Right, battery's drained. Can we stay in range?
Energy now.
I hope so. Yes, we can, but only just.
Recharge on.
Again, we're just getting dropped.
Come on.
Just struggling. Okay, officially starting to worry about our car. Worrying drop down the order for both drivers now, and I just don't seem to have anything I can do about it in response.
back off now.
Yeah, copy.
Overtake is available.
Try and give Mick a bit of a jump start here. Oh yeah, I was always going to focus on the downforce for our first round of upgrades, Anthony, but might have to focus on it a lot more than I planned to this season. Just need to get an overtake or two done with Oscar to get his confidence back. But he's in that vicious cycle at the moment of vicious circle of losing confidence, makes him slower, gets caught by another car, can't defend, loses confidence because he gets overtaken, and it's just bleeding him dry.
Think about looking after this tyre where we need to. Okay, so let's look after these tyres.
Yeah, copy. Need to look after the tyres.
Yeah.
Like that. He's got no defence at the moment.
Lean on the tyres.
Yeah, copy.
Is this Norris making his first stop? I think it is. Wow, he's going for the one stop in a big way here. Who locked up? Yuki.
Now here we are at the final corner. Oh, and the car locks up. What caused that, I wonder?
Apparently that counted as an overtake. We'll take it. Albon's starting to close back down. I want to try and stretch these tyres a little bit if I can.
Copy.
Oh, for those of you that weren't aware as well, Frontier did their stream last week, showing off obviously Planet Zoo and Chaos Gate Demon Hunters, which I'm very excited for. And they did hint very briefly at the beginning of the stream that F1 would get another game, but they didn't specifically state that. They will be doing more streams throughout the year like that to show off upcoming projects, so I do hope that we will get more information soon about whether or not it's just going to be an expansion for this game or an actual DLC, you know, like a DLC with an updated roster and circuit, you know, like the 2024 season DLC add-on, or if it's going to be a standalone game. Yeah, but a little way to go until we can find out for sure. Max is in now. Max going to the end on those tyres. Schumacher's going to lose out here. If he gets another overtake in, like last lap, then that might just get him into peak confidence. We seem to gain more than we lose when we get an overtake situation like that. Here comes Norris. Norris on brand new soft tyres. We're not going to be able to hold him back. And this is going to hurt Oscar again. We can at least get a couple of defensive buffs out of him before he does get through. Nope. There he goes. Maybe we can stay with him a little bit for a lap or two.
Focus forward.
You start to really push these tyres now.
Let's see if we can get Albon.
Well, yeah, look at Norris. He's off. He's off and running. But at least we kept Gasly and Tsunoda far enough outside of range. There's Max. So Norris is in a strong place right now. He's got a nice little lead over Max. Max stuck behind Tsunoda and Gasly, who are fighting each other. This is going to give Norris a chance to try and stretch and put himself in contention for the win. Leclerc, we know, is going to stop again. He's going to have fresher tyres, but what tyres did he use in the first stint? He used soft, so he's got to go mediums. We've got a yellow flag. Not our drivers. And it's Zhou running wide.
Now this was the 7th corner. And they just can't keep on the track.
And that's dropped him off the back of the Ferrari.
Watch the car there.
Ocon will be close. Or closer. Norris is already all over the back of Ocon. We've got Yuki right behind us now, who's sprinted away from Gasly. Another position lost. And now Oscar's lost another place. Oh, this is Oscar we're looking at. Yeah, looking at the wrong person's confidence. Ah. Yellow flag. Someone's had a spin. Oh, that's Ocon. As Norris sets a new fastest lap, a 1:32.7.
Yellow flag, yellow flag.
Things look fine here.
Hopefully this will count as an overtake and we'll get some confidence back.
That's the spin. And that certainly wouldn't have been in their plans today.
Let's have a look. Nope, it didn't. Schumacher's getting swamped. Oscar's already outside of the DRS of Yuki. Now Max has got through past Gasly. He's going to be cruising onto the back of us very quickly here. It's a late call, but hopefully this won't hurt our pit crew.
Box.
Don't want to lose any more confidence.
Box.
It's lost enough already.
Oscar pit lane.
Copy.
Russell in for another set of mediums. Giving him refill. Yeah, it is a bad stop. We left it very late to make that call.
Caution one on exit.
But we would have lost more time in the long run if we'd let Max get through, because we'd have then got jumped by Gasly as well. We'd stayed out another lap, so we made the right call. It's just, unfortunately, we took a little bit of a hit in terms of our pit crew there, giving them no time to get ready for that stop. Going to go one more lap with Schumacher, potentially. Hopefully. As Yuki's into the pits. Decent stop.
Slow.
Copy.
We can just focus on charging the pack.
Copy.
Box this lap, box.
Albon's going to lunge up the inside. Is the Ferrari going to try and squeeze us? Ah, contact. Damn it.
All okay?
Minor front wing damage.
Let's see what happened there. Now this happened down at turn
I was
8.
worried there was a problem
You can
when I
see
saw us
how
go
tight
off the
it is.
track there.
And the contact between the cars, inevitable.
I don't know who's
Bitter
at fault there.
blow
I would
too
have to
for
say
more than
Ocon.
one driver from the pack.
Gave us no room and then squeezed us on the exit of the of corner 8 as well as the entry to corner 8. We need to change our front wing as well now. And we have no confidence left. So that's ruined Mick's race completely and utterly. He was just a step under peak confidence. Now he is rock bottom because he's about to get passed by the Ferrari.
We are going to box.
Not a good start to the season. We got the penalty. Of course we got the penalty. Alright, well, let's reconfirm the stop. Hopefully that will mean we'll serve the penalty.
Right, let's box now, please.
Understood, box now.
Okay, mate, let's keep looking after these tyres.
Yellow ahead.
Copy.
So this
Look
is
at
what
Mateo.
happened. Now we're at turn 11 now. The wheels just lock up there. By that point, it was just too late.
This is going to be a horrible stop. Yeah, not great. Right behind, right out behind Gasly.
Bring the pack up.
Yep, copy.
You've got energy.
Copy.
See if we can just give Oscar a little bit of a kickstart now.
Use energy.
Fastest lap attempt.
Yeah, copy.
Oh, he's not getting through like that.
Pull out to take some air on the straight.
Copy.
Up the inside. Gasly's fighting. We should get the move done. It's not done yet. Gasly's going to try and come back at us in the DRS zone.
Let's go recharge on, please. Recharge on.
Leclerc's in. And that's his mediums to the end. Zhou's coming in. He's the last of the cars in front of us that needs to stop. We're not going to get the fastest lap, I don't think, but it'll be a quick lap. Bad stop for Zhou. That helps immensely.
So take it easy in the first
And we're out in
corner.
front of him, just.
Copy.
And he's in behind Gasly.
Overtake is available.
Right, so now for the streak. We're okay on the streaks. I don't think we're going to get the fastest lap tonight. But as long as Oscar finishes in the top 10, then we'll be satisfying the sponsors. And on top of that, you know, it'll be points.
Focus on bringing the pack back up.
Copy.
Let's just see what we can do with Mick. See how quickly we can get him to recover. This is less about going for a fastest lap with Mick as trying to get him some confidence back with some personal bests and get him close to other cars to try and make an overtake. That's the best way we can get his confidence up, is get him fighting. Get him moving back up the order. And we'll keep pushing like this for another lap. Oh wow, we did just set the fastest lap with very low confidence. That's a surprise. So theoretically this lap should be even quicker.
No saving required.
Yeah. Copy.
I'm going to get onto the back of Yuki and then we're going to cool the tyres down. Let's push hard to get there.
Do everything you can, mate. Do what you can to keep the tyres cool.
Copy.
Use energy.
If I can get onto Yuki, then I can keep getting the DRS off the back of him.
Need to focus on getting the pack
There we
up.
go.
Copy.
Now you take away the wing change, which is usually around 6 to 7 seconds. Oh, there's a mistake in front. That's one of the Mercedes.
Yellow flag.
Valtteri.
Yellow flag.
Copy.
Yeah, take away the penalty, take away the wing change. That's 11 seconds. So we had a 2 point something stop. 2.3, 2.4. I think it would have been about a 2.3
And
stop.
clearly they're not.
It would have been quick. Just, you know, swallowed up by the penalty and the wing
ERS
change.
disabled. ERS disabled.
Slightly bigger lift and coast in all areas, please.
All right, still tucking in quite nicely here with Tsunoda. Pace-wise, we're pretty similar to Stroll. I think Yuki's trying to break away from us now. Let's give Oscar a little bit more tyre.
Tyres more.
Copy.
Let's see, what does Yuki do across the line? Yeah, he went nearly a second quicker. He's trying to break away. or at least he's trying to catch up to Stroll, one of the two. We're going to try and go with him as much as we can. Tyres are still in pretty good shape. Mick is closing in on the cars in front. Just almost a second out of them on that lap. Let's cool the tyres back down again. We're so close right now.
Copy.
We need to focus on the energy now.
Copy.
Yeah, Oscar's confidence is much, much better now. Mick's still in the low confidence, but if I can just get him onto the back of the cars in front, we are close. Then I can suddenly start getting some big jumps in pace.
Push up.
He's still half a second quicker than Stroll on that last lap. And we're using him to rebuild our battery.
Back off.
Copy.
Norris 3.5 seconds ahead of Max. Lapping slightly quicker on that last lap as well. Leclerc is flying right now, as you would expect. He's only 2 seconds behind his teammate. I think he's the bigger threat to Norris than Max. As we are almost on the back of Maloney. Have to push the tyres hard to do it because we don't have the battery or the fuel. We did stop him an extra lap or two later, so we have got a little bit more tyre in reserve. Not much. What we did have is almost gone.
Do with bringing them down slightly if we can. Let's look after these tyres.
Please tell me we made it. New fastest lap for Charles Leclerc, 1:32.3. Yeah, I don't think we've got anything left to be able to beat that now. Or maybe Oscar. Full push with battery, who knows, maybe.
Lean on the tyres as much as you can.
Copy.
We can just focus on charging the pack.
Copy.
Maloney's caught up to the back of Porsche, has stretched him away from us and he's going to get DRS. Got to push hard with one what little I've got. Gotta get onto the back of these guys. It's the only way we can salvage anything with Schumacher here.
Let's recharge on.
Alright, there we go. Ooh, we lost the DRS.
And energy is
Yuki's
available.
pushing.
Copy.
And Zhou is right with us.
Tyre conditions good, we can push a bit more.
Copy.
I'll let the gap get too big. Let's go for a fastest lap attempt.
They'll come to us.
Oh, big lockup from Sonoda. That puts us into peak confidence at the start of an attempt at a flying lap. We might actually give it to Zhou here because he's in our DRS. Have we got enough to break away from him? Personal best in the first. We have broken Zhou just. It looks like he's pushing as well because we're not really breaking away from him that much. Evening Packins. Now we're breaking away from him. There we go, that's more like it. No improvement in the middle sector. We need something mighty in the final. I don't think we're going to get the fastest lap here. Nope.
Bring the pack up.
Were we even close?
Do split the coast.
No. Not even close. But a good lap though. Has helped close the gap down to Stroll. We've stretched the gap to Zhou. Yuki's dropped himself down to 10th as a result of that little lockup.
Let's go recharge on. Copy.
Okay, and let's cool the car.
No, copy.
Looks like Maloney's trying to make a break for it.
Overtake is available. Copy.
We jump on Porsche there. And that is more confidence for Mick. Much needed confidence for Mick. Now, can we get onto the back of Maloney before the DRS detection point? I don't think we can. Oh, maybe. Yes, we can. Excellent. Just as well, because we have killed our tyres.
Copy.
Recharge on.
Copy. Yeah, take it easy. We need lift and coast.
Yeah, pushed our tyres very hard here with both of our drivers. Max has closed the gap to Norris to just over a second. Leclerc is right with him. I wonder if those two have been leapfrogging each other, which is what has brought Max closer. Not really been paying too much attention to the top because we ain't there.
No saving required.
Yeah.
Okay, push. Let's go.
Understood.
I'll be very happy with 7th for the opening race of the season. We know we've got flaws in the car, and it has a couple of strong points as well, and we can just iron out those weaknesses without hurting our strengths too much. Puts us in a decent position. We've got a yellow flag. I'm not sure who it's for.
We've got a yellow flag
It's
here.
Valtteri having a disaster of a debut, or re-debut, at Mercedes.
Focus on bringing the pack back up.
Copy.
And I'm okay with Zhou getting past us at the moment because we don't have the pace to hunt down Stroll. Maybe Zhou does. We can build the battery back up, protect our tyres. At the very least, we can get back in front of Zhou at the end. Maybe Zhou can drag us into a fight with Stroll as well and potentially give us a chance to fight for 6th place. That would be nice. We'll keep a watching brief on this. Maldonado, I keep calling him Maldonado, it's Maloney, has broken away from Mick now. And I don't know if we're going to be able to catch him. He might just be pushing for a couple of laps. He might slow down again. Be nice to get Mick back up into 14th ahead of the rookies.
We need to focus on the energy now.
Copy.
Yeah, that collision, wing change penalty, complete destruction of his confidence level has, absolutely crippled his race. But he was not looking amazing to begin with, if we're honest.
You're good to push on tyres.
He was
Yeah.
doubtful that he would have got the points, I think. Maybe with the mistakes that other cars have made, he might have gone into 10th. But I'm definitely hoping for a little bit better luck at Jeddah. We'll have a new chassis available for Oscar at Jeddah. Mick will get it when we get to Melbourne. And we might have a new underfloor for Oscar at Melbourne as well.
Five to go.
Definitely need to get a rear wing into production, because Baku is coming up.
Back off in the high speed.
Copy.
We did close a little bit on Stroll on that last lap. Maloney gets past Bashur with 3 seconds off the back of that fight now, and I don't think we've got enough left in the tyres to do anything about it.
focus on getting the pack up.
Yep.
I don't want to sit right on the gearbox of Zhou because I don't want Zhou to have to drive defensively, but I don't want him to get too far ahead that he starts to break away from us.
Copy.
I don't think he's going to catch Stroll though. Yeah, half a second back to Stroll on that last lap. We've lost another half a second to Vashore and Maloney, so it looks like 16th is where we're going to end up with Mick. Bit of a shame, but he's not exactly showered himself in glory in this opening race. I think he's probably got 2 more seasons with us, this season and next, and then it'll be Behrman going in the car at that point.
Temps under control.
Yeah, copy. We can just focus on charging the pack.
Copy.
Okay, mate, good job. No more lift and coast required.
Copy.
Even now, we still haven't got Mick back into high confidence.
Push more.
Copy.
I think I'm too far away from Stroll to try and slingshot my way past Zhou onto the back of him. I think what's more likely is if I try that, I'm not going to be able to break away from Zhou and I'm going to leave myself vulnerable to Zhou. So we're just going to have to settle for fighting for 7th. Unless Stroll makes a mistake.
More lift and coast, please, each zone.
Copy. Two laps to go. Energy if you need it.
Copy.
Bring the pack up.
Copy.
Use everything.
Yep. Copy.
Gasly's closing us up.
Copy.
No lift and coast required from our side at the moment.
Copy.
Let's pick our pace up. Let's go.
Copy. Go get him.
I heard the crowd cheering. I thought it was a screech of lockup for a second. Then I'm like, oh shit.
We need some PU cooling.
Copy.
Bring it home.
Right, we're through, and we've got the DRS. So this is our chance to break Joe. Or at least get enough of a gap that he can't threaten us.
Save fuel.
Copy.
Yeah, we managed to break him. We're not quite going to catch Stroll. Oh, yeah, I've already spotted the fuel level, Baron. I'm not running out of fuel tonight.
Leclerc is today's winner.
There we go. Leclerc gets the opening win of the season. And Norris in the end couldn't hold off Max.
All credit to the team for the car they put together. But without that incredible and consistent driving, it'd all be for nothing.
It is a 1-2 for Red Bull in the opening race of the season. No real surprise there. But Norris was in with a shout for a while. The Ferraris have recovered well. 4th and 5th for them. 6th place for Stroll, just a second in front of us.
Yep.
7th place for Oscar. Not a bad start.
So let's check a flag. P7.
Mick all the way down in 16th. He's had an absolute shocker.
Everybody enjoyed that, well done.
Beaten by both of the rookies.
Okay, brilliant. That's the checkered flag. So we're P16.
There we go.
Unfortunately.
At least we had a better race than Mercedes. Look at them. 19th and 20th. Bottas has already been lapped. There is Sainz crossing the line. This could be a disastrous season for the Silver Arrows.
Now that was a good performance today from Oscar Piastri.
That's a solid points finish, and all in all, a good drive for them today.
Out and onto the podium steps Charles Leclerc, the driver from Monaco, really deserving of that top 3 spot.
That gives them their first win of the season, and it was really well deserved.
And we've certainly kicked things off in style here at the Bahrain Grand Prix.
It's nice to see someone other than Max winning the season opener.
And down there in the Alpha Tauri garage, Karun, what would they be making of that race, do you think?
Well, it was a bit of a mixed bag here. Some things went their way, but others didn't. I think their main target now will be finding some consistency for sure.
And that is about that for this weekend's action here in Bahrain.
The teams now look ahead to the next round, where they'll duel it out in the sand dunes of Saudi Arabia.
So there we go then, confirmation of the final results. Charles Leclerc wins the opening Grand Prix of the season and gets the fastest lap as well, ahead of his teammate Max Verstappen. Lando in 3rd. What a recovery race from Ferrari, up 7 places with Perez to finish in 4th, Russell up 4 places to finish in 5th. Stroll finishes in 6th. Oscar dropped a couple of places, but I always kind of expected that. So I'm happy with 7th place. That's 6 points to start our season. Zhou in 8th. Gasly down 3 places to finish 9th. Tsunoda down 6 places to finish in 10th. Didn't really do himself many favours. A good recovery from Magnussen to gain 9 places and finish just outside the points. A couple of seconds off the back of Tsunoda in the end. Then it's Albon. Ocon in 13th. Not the strongest start for Alpine. I thought they might be a little quicker than that tonight. Maloney, good debut for him. Up 4 places to finish in 14th. Same for Vasseur. Also up 4 places, finishing in 15th. Schumacher, well, yeah, disastrous race. That collision. Breaking his wing, giving him a penalty, destroying his confidence. He was never going to finish anywhere near the points after that. But at least we managed to get him up a few places from where he was. Porsche in 17th, outperformed by his younger teammate. Very surprised by that. Giovinazzi down a couple of places in 18th. Sainz, a disastrous race for him, taking out his teammate, finishing 19th in the end, down 5 places. And Bottas, well, innocent victim. Sainz destroyed his race, gave him some kind of mechanical damage that we couldn't see on the car. His pace was never the same after that, and he finished a long way down in 20th. So there is your Drivers' Championship, same as the top 10. And in the Constructors' Championship, maximum points for Red Bull puts them comfortably ahead of Ferrari. Double their points on 22. McLaren in 3rd, Aston 4th, we're in 5th. Williams are 6th. Then it's Alpine, Haas, Alfa Romeo, and Mercedes are bottom. Let's take a look at the pit stops. We had the 4th best stop, a 2.5, and then a 6th best stop, a 2.6. Not great stops. Maybe our pit crew is just a little bit tired. I don't know. Not the strongest start for us. There you can see Red Bull pumping in an insanely quick time, a 10th of a second quicker than Ferrari. Leclerc 2.4. So there were 2 really standout stops, and then everyone else was fairly close in that kind of 2.4, 2.5 range. We were there or thereabouts. Let's see what the standings look like after the first round. Red Bull with 40 points, Ferrari second with 28, we're third with 20, and then it's McLaren on 6, Alpine 4th with 4, and Aston with 3. No points for Williams, Mercedes, Haas or Alfa Romeo. Let's take a look at the driver cards. 8 successful overtakes, 9 failed for Mick. 15 successful defences, 13 failed for Oscar. 7 successful overtakes, 6 failed. 20 successful defences, 12 failed. Considering how they kept bleeding his confidence and nibbling away at him like that, I'm surprised his faileds was that far off his successful. He did some good defensive work today. And as far as the sponsors go, well, we achieved our performance targets. We achieved our guarantees, except for the fastest lap, or perhaps being a little optimistic with that one. But we did play it conservative with our guarantees. Just 1 car into Q3, just 2 cars in the top 14. Just to get a baseline idea of where our pace is. We're not too far away from where we need to be. We've got some promising signs. We've got a few weaknesses that we need to address. But overall, we're in decent shape. We are definitely in the hunt for solid points. Podiums might be a little harder to come by unless we can really substantially improve our car quite quickly. We come out with 3.7 mil, not too bad. And that's another spare front wing, which is good because we destroyed our only spare. There we go. And that is where we are going to end tonight's stream. So we've got 11 days until the next Grand Prix. Time to get our chassis onto the car for at least one of our drivers. We will also get a new suspension on the car as well for Mick, I think. Or is that a spare? That might be a spare. Not sure. But yeah, we'll get a new chassis on Oscar's car for Saudi Arabia. Mick will end up getting that probably around Melbourne. Hopefully we'll have a new underfloor for Oscar at Melbourne, and then, as I say, we need to get a new new rear wing into production ASAP, because Baku is coming, and we want to make sure that our DRS and our drag is nice and boosted for that Grand Prix. We also need to continue to work on our low speed downforce. That is already coming along quite nicely, but with, as I say, Baku coming up, which is almost entirely low speed corners, that is definitely something we need to work on. So we might even pump another front wing project out pretty quickly as well. We'll see how things go. As I say, we'll be back tomorrow at the usual time of 8 p.m. I hope you've enjoyed our season opener. If you have, please drop a like on the stream. Consider sharing this with your friends, letting people know. And I will be back with some more F1 Manager very soon.